Hello and welcome back. This is James Camp, your friendly computer science professor at Lee College in Baytown, Texas. And today we're going to be talking about functions. If you remember, in mathematics, a function is something that we might call this f. We might say here y equals f of x. Okay, it's something that takes an input, and the input is the x-axis, okay, and it produces an output, which is this funny curve shape here, okay. In computer science, we also have functions. What happens is our program, if you remember our sort of flowchart for a general program here, it's got one block that does something, another block that does something, and then it may get to a point where it needs to call a function, okay? So what happens is we come over here, and I'll color the function a different shade of green here. Okay, this function also does something, and does something else, and does something else, and then maybe it's done. Okay, so it returns control to the main program over here, which continues on doing something and doing something and doing something. Okay. The set of code here is outside the main flow of code. Okay, and so it's sometimes called a subroutine. In C++, we call these subroutines functions. Okay. We can, when we write this, that this is function, we can call this function foo. Okay. And a function in C++ always has parentheses after it. Okay. That's what indicates to the compiler that it is a function. We can pass information. I'm going to make information orange here. We can pass information into this function by giving it a parameter or an argument. It's called passing an argument to the function, or it's called a parameter of the function. Okay. We can have information go back to the calling program by giving this giving foo a return type. Okay, it could be int or double or string or any of the types that we've learned about so far. But we'll tell it that we tell the compiler to expect foo to return a piece of data of that type. Okay. Now you might say, why would I ever do this? I've been getting along just fine writing everything as part of the main program. And the answer is, sometimes you have multiple parts of your program that need to call foo. Okay. Rather than having to write the code for foo multiple times, we can write the code for foo once, and so on. So your program might call foo multiple times. It might have to use that particular bit of code several times, and rather than write the code new every time we use it, it's better to pull it out as a function. Another reason for functions in programming is that they make the main program cleaner and easier to read. For example, if you were controlling a robot, okay, and the command for forward actually involves several commands to different motors on the robot that tell it, turn your wheels and pick up your landing gear, or whatever. So forward is actually a fairly complicated bit of code, maybe. If we have a function forward that handles all of that obscure set motor states and all of that code, then it becomes easier to read the main program. We can see, oh, okay, here and here the robot is going forward. We don't have to try to interpret what all the different motor commands are doing at those different points. Okay. All right, so that's what a function is in computer programming. It is how we pass data to and from functions, and a little bit of motivation as to why we use functions. Hopefully that will get you ready for lesson 6 in my computer science class on writing functions in C++. As always, good luck and happy programming.